Leon Edwards went from a fighter that many people thought would not be beat for a very long time and at top of the welterweight division, to suddenly being a fighter that many people aren't sure he can win anymore. Not long ago, he was being talked about reigning for a very long time as the welterweight champion, a technical master and a defensive genius, as a man who could shut down anyone in the division due to his high level striking and takedown defense. But now fans are wondering, is his time over? And shorter than anyone expected. Today we're going to be breaking down the downfall of Leon Edwards, how he rose to the top, where things started to slip, the key fights that changed everything for him, and whether he can rebuild what he once had. So let's get into it. Before we talk about the downfall, we have to talk about how Leon climbed the mountain of the welterweight division to get to the very top so that we can understand the bigger picture. Leon Edwards went on one of the most underrated win streaks in the UFC. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, he wasn't hyped by marketing, but he had pure skill. He went on fight win streaks, beating Vicente Luque, beating Rafael dos Anjos. He beat Nate Diaz for about 24 minutes before that chaotic 1 minute in the last round. And he fought patiently, technical and disciplined. He had a style that frustrated a lot of opponents and confused a lot of people. But what truly changed everything was his second fight against Kamaru Usman. Now, majority of that fight, for 4 rounds, Leon looked beaten. He was getting beat every single one of the rounds, and it looked like Leon was about to lose. Coming into the 5th round of that fight, Leon had his coach motivating him, trying to make him push forward, and thanks to that, he was able to get that perfect, iconic head kick KO in the final round against Kamaru Usman. That knockout was one of the best knockouts that the UFC has seen in a title fight, and a lot of people thought that it was because of luck. He was losing majority of that fight and people thought he managed to land a lucky head kick against Kamaru Usman, who was a very dominant champion. Now, to prove himself, Leon Edwards fought Kamaru Usman again in a rematch, and in that rematch he managed to win a very good decision and won against Kamaru Usman, showing to everyone that it wasn't pure luck. He had great takedown defense and his striking was there, and he proved to everyone that he deserved to be the welterweight champion of the world. After beating Kamaru Usman, it showed to the world that Leon Edwards was a really great champion. However, there was another contender in the welterweight division who at the time was seen as the boogeyman, a guy that was going to be champion when Kamaru Usman was gone, and that person was Colby Covington. Now, going into this fight with Colby Covington, Cody was known as the cardio machine and the pressure king of the welterweight division. He was the guy who pushed Kamaru Usman further than anyone else other than Leon, and yet Leon vs Colby never happened. Now, going into this fight, there was a lot of bad blood between both fighters. Colby Covington did say some disrespectful things towards Leon Edwards about his father, who passed away when he was 13 years old, and Leon Edwards did not take this lightly. Both fighters were heated at each other, and Leon Edwards went into this fight as a champion who needed to silence the doubters. People wanted to see if Leon was truly elite, whether his stylistic matchup against Kamaru Usman just favoured him, or whether he can take out other top contenders in the division, and will he fight with emotion based on the insults that Colby Covington gave him. However, Leon Edwards in this performance against Colby Covington performed astonishingly. He beat Colby Covington in every aspect, outstruck him, took out his legs and stuffed a lot of his takedowns to get a really great decision against him, showing to every one of the doubters that he is truly elite level and can stop anyone in the welterweight division. But here's the thing, becoming champion changes everything. It changes your entire world. When you are the contender, you prepare for one man only. You obsess over that one target. But when you are the champion, every contender prepares for you. They study your habits, your patterns, your weaknesses, every interview you participate in, every media day, every expectation weighs upon you. And every fighter in that division is chasing you. They're younger, they're hungrier, and they are more willing to climb up the mountain, gain momentum to hunt you down. Leon Edwards went from being the hunter to now being the hunted. He went from being ignored to now having every contender watching him, coming up with game plans to take him down. and that could add a lot of pressure onto someone and make someone fold. Then came UFC 304 in Manchester. It was a rematch between Belal Muhammad and Leon Edwards, as their first fight ended in a no contest due to an eye poke. So this fight allowed Leon to gain the ability to show to everyone he is a very dominant champion, and he can stop someone who is a big threat like Belal. However, instead, this is where the downfall really started for Leon Edwards. Belal did not fight Leon Edwards' gauge. He decided to not stay at range, and he did not wait for Leon. From early, Belal kept pressuring and level changing and chaining takedown attempts against Leon Edwards over 5 rounds. He kept dragging Leon into grappling exchanges, clinching him against the fence, and really grinding on him and putting on the pressure. Leon had his moments with some clean shots and some good takedown defense, but however, the entire fight was just mainly him trying to survive and dealing with the pressure, which ended up resulting in Belal Muhammad winning the fight. This is where a lot of people would say Leon Edwards started to decline. A lot of people started to brand Leon as a quitter and someone who just can't deal with pressure really well. After losing his title to Belal Muhammad, Leon Edwards fought Sean Brady. Sean Brady is a strong, suffocating grappler with really great jiu-jitsu. He's the kind of people that people always wanted to see Leon Edwards fight to see how he could deal with that style. Early on, Leon had success. He landed great shots, defended some attempts. However, this was still not enough, as Leon Edwards crumbled under the pressure and succumbed to Brady's pressure and grappling and ended up getting submitted. This showed that the weaknesses in Leon Edwards' skill set, particularly his jiu-jitsu and grappling, was evident, and Brady capitalized on this and managed to submit him in the fight. After losing twice in a row, Leon Edwards was given the chance to fight Carlos Prates in UFC 322 in Madison Square Garden, and Carlos Prates was known for being a really good striker, and on paper this looked like a great opportunity for Leon to bounce back. Leon really does well against strikers, as he's slick and technical and has been really durable in the past. However, in the first round, he didn't really strike with Carlos Prates. He ended up just grappling and trying to get a rear naked choke, but Carlos was composed and handled the pressure of Leon Edwards. But in the second round, everything changed. Prates drew Leon into an exchange and ended up brutally landing a left hand that slept Leon Edwards for the first time in his career, and he was knocked out cold. These losses show where it really went wrong for Leon Edwards and his downfall. These losses show his downfall and how it's not really just a couple of losses, but a constant pattern that keeps showing. Stylistically, Leon doesn't do really well with pressure, as it catches up to him. When it comes to wrestlers and pressure fighters like Belal, Brady and Carlos Prates, it does show that he cannot deal with a lot of pressure, as it doesn't allow him to gain the range he wants and to dictate it, as he constantly has to be on the back foot and deal with fast sudden movements. Leon Edwards is also someone who throws a lot of low volume and has a high amount of patience. Leon is primarily a sniper, a rangy kickboxer that works well on opponents that respect him, but when you do not respect Leon Edwards and you pressure him, it doesn't allow him to work well where he does best, which is kickboxing, as he has to end up boxing and just dealing with high pressure and dealing with guys who don't back up against him and allow him to just steal rounds. It makes him really crumble under that. Another thing is Leon's mindset. When things get difficult for Leon Edwards, he sort of gives up. He doesn't really push forward. He kind of accepts where he is and doesn't find ways to push forward, counter what he is struggling against, and just gives up, which is seen in the Belal Muhammad fight, Brady fight and the Prates fight. He just gives up in these instances and doesn't push forward. Age is another thing that is causing Leon to decline, as he is getting older and the wear and tear is starting to catch up with him. He's taken damage, had long training camps and has been in the game for a very long while, so that does play into the reasons why he is losing a lot more, as he's not the same guy he was a couple years ago. Leon Edwards went from being at the top of the division and having the belt to losing his belt in the decision, getting submitted in his next fight and getting KO'd, so he is now lost in 3 possible ways that a fighter can lose his fight, and it's looking really difficult for Leon. He's getting older, but the division he is now in has a lot of great fighters like Islam Makhachev, JDM, Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, Ian Gary. There's a lot of great up and coming guys that are in the division who can realistically now beat Leon Edwards. He's not the same technical guy he was a few years ago, and now he has to deal with a lot of up and coming guys that can match him at his current level and beat him, which is quite difficult for Leon. The question now is, will Leon now define this chapter of his life and be content with being the person he is now, or will he shock the world once again and claim the victory and become a welterweight champion again? Ultimately, time will tell, but let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notification bells, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.